Hi friends, in this video we have to learn about recursion in a Python. So what is the recursion? Here you can see recursion is a technique where a function calls itself to solve a problem by breaking it a smaller sub problem. So what is the recursion? Recursion is a technique where a function calls itself to solve a problem by breaking it into a smaller subproblem. Here, here are key parts of a recursion. Every recursion function must have a base case. This is very important. Base case is stops the recursion and recursive case function calls itself. So without a base case, recursion will run forever. So you understand base case means one type of a condition. You have to write a condition. Otherwise, this function calls forever. And recursive case means you have to call the function inside the function. So these 2 points are very important. Simple example, you can see, suppose you are printing a numbers, right? So they print numbers. This is a function, right? And you are passing the n, that is the number. If n equals to 0, then this will return a, if n equals to 0, then simply return, means nothing we are returning when n equals to 0, otherwise print n. And print numbers function, see, this is a functions. So inside the function we are calling this function print numbers n minus 1. This is called as a recursive call, because you are calling a function inside a function. So what will happen, print numbers, if you call this function and pass the 5, so 5 will goes to the n, and this is checking if n equals to 0, then return, but this is a 5, n equals to 5, then this will print a 5, and again this will call these functions. So 5 minus 1 is a 4, so again 4 is go to the n, and this is checking n equals to 0, return, and this is print. So this time 4 print, just like this output 5 4 3 2 1. So let's see this example in our VS Code. Open your VS Code and just create a one file, that is the recursion in a Python, right? Recursion.py. So now just we are printing a natural number. So here you can see dev print numbers, dev print underscore numbers, and just pass the n, that is we are passing a numbers here, and enter if n equals to 0. When n equals to 0, then simply you have to write return. Right, you can see here, means nothing we are returning when n equals to 0, otherwise print n, right? Now this is simply printing the value. Now you have to call this function inside the function. Now you have to come back and just call this function itself, right? Print underscore numbers into bracket you have to call n minus 1, right? So we are printing number in a reverse order, n minus 1. So this is called as a recursive call. Print numbers n minus 1 and just call this function print underscore numbers and pass the numbers. Or you can take this input as well. Just we are passing a hard code value here and now run the program. You can see 5 4 3 2 1. So this is a recursion function or a recursion in a Python. So see, just we have created a functions and this is a base case and return, and this is a calling function itself inside the function. So this two is a very important. Base case is very important. You can see here base case is very important, which stop the recursion. How? When n equals to 0, this will stop. If you not write this continuously printing number, so that's why base case is a very important. In other example, you can see just like if you want to factorial of a numbers, then you can print factorial a factorial. If n equals to 1, then return 1 and return n into factorial n minus 1. So you can use the recursion to print the output. A real life example, just see opening a nested box. Nested box means box inside the box. To open a box, if it's empty, then again open the next box. This is called as a recursive function because open box is a condition or functions. So we are using this. Important points. Always define a base case. Recursion uses a more memory cost tag. To deep recursion can uses a recursion error. So here you can see some difference between a recursion and a loop. So recursion function call itself, but loop uses a for and while. Recursion easy to read and loop memory efficient. Recursion is slower, but loop is faster. When to use a recursion? Tree problems, divide and conquer, mathematical problems, and backtracking algorithm. So this is all about the recursion. Recursion is calling function itself or call the function inside the function, and recursion should have a base case. So that's all about the recursion. You can create a recursion in any functions. When some use cases is required, you can use this, or this recursion alternative is a for loop. So you can print for loop as well as a user recursion wherever this is a essential or required. So that's all about the recursion in a Python. So thank you for watching this video.